You are now listening to the most talked about blog talk radio station in the universe. Walk in his ways, Impact Voice Radio. Be prepared to have your mind stimulated, your spirit elevated in ways you couldn't even imagine. Introducing your host and the mastermind behind this unforgettable experience, Furman Jackson Jr. You will not be disappointed. Let's go!
Hey, great morning to each and every one of all you on this great day. I welcome everyone to a special edition of Walking This Way's Impact Voice podcast. I'm broadcasting you live out of Arlington, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, just the great state of Texas as a whole. And I thank everybody for joining us on this beautiful Sunday morning. This is a special edition, of course, and I'm alongside my great friend that she's doing great things. She's all about making a movement, all about transcending, and not only that, motivating and inspiring other people to do great things, exploit great ideas. And I know she has the Rebel Talk podcast that's taking off. She's also to the cryptocurrencies as well. So we're gonna have some Q&A. So Jasmine, I welcome you to Walking This Way's Impact Voice podcast.
Thank you.
And I appreciate taking time out your busy schedule. I know you're a busy woman as well. I'm glad that this day was open for us to do this special edition here on this Sunday morning. So I want you to introduce yourself to the audience, give us a little background about yourself, and then we're about to get this show on the road.
Hello, my name is Jasmine M. I like to consider myself a creator and a risk taker, okay? And that's what I'm going to spend most of my time talking to you guys about whenever I answer a question, is taking risk and not being afraid to just jump out there.
Awesome stuff, because we know that the title of this episode is called I Got Work to Do. And all of us have work to do. Either you're going to work or you're not going to work. Either you're going to get in the game or you're going to stay on the sidelines. So really the choice is up to the individual on what they want to master in their life. And my question is the Rebel Talk podcast, how did that come about? And what can the listener expect from Rebel Talk? And how can they subscribe to the Rebel Talk podcast?
Okay. Well, Rebel Talk, so I've always wanted to be a public speaker. I love spreading the way that I feel about certain things to people. So when you're listening to Rebel Talk, you can expect to learn gems about how to navigate through life. You can definitely expect some controversy. Like, we're talking about everything on there. We're talking about religion, sex, the way you raise your kids, making excuses, not changing your life, but saying that you need to be changing your life. We're talking about investing. We're talking about relationships, marriage. We're talking about high value men, high value women. We're talking about current issues. So anything that you can think about that's going on currently, the audience can definitely expect to hear about it on Rebel Talk. And it's called Rebel Talk because I am rebelling. So anything that people are afraid to say, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to say it on Rebel Talk.
Oh, so basically you just saying stuff that people are already thinking, but you just being a voice to the voiceless, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, it makes it interesting. I listened to some of the content you have and some of the episodes that you had sent me. A lot of great stuff. A lot of stuff that in our generation that we really didn't embrace because of our parents. We maybe went through certain things, experienced certain things, but never knew how to address our parents on certain things. And I know in one episode, you really talked about that a lot. Elaborate on that episode, because I know this generation is very open compared to our generation. And you brought some keynote stuff, and I really enjoyed it.
So you're talking about the no threats allowed, when I was talking about how we raise our children?
Right. I think that's the name of the episode I listened to the other day.
Yes. So on No Threats Allowed, if you guys listen to it, by the way, I'm going to put my link to everything that I do. I'm going to put my link. There's one link that you can get to on Linktree that's going to have everything that I talk about. It's going to have my podcast and any other works. So to answer the question on the how we raise our kids now versus on how we were raised, I opened up the episode talking about how back in the day, if we were, let's say, 11 years old and we had a crush on a girl. Now, if a guy had a crush on a girl at 11, the parents was like, ha, ha, it's funny. But if a girl had a crush on a guy at the age of 11, the parents was like, spanking on your hand. You better not be liking no little boys. It was always, you better not do this. You better not say this. You can't ask this. And as a result of that, it drove a wedge between us and our parents because we were afraid to ask them or tell them things. So whereas when we turned 15, 16, 17, and we started being sexually active, or later, whenever it was, we did not feel comfortable enough to say, hey, I'm thinking about having sex with this guy, mom. Like, any suggestions? What condoms should I use? Or, mom, can you take me to get on birth control because I'm thinking about having sex? We were afraid to say that because our parents scared us and made us feel like if we did it, we were in trouble. So what's important now is for parents that are my age, they have preteens growing up now. It's important to, instead of scaring them, ask them why they're making those decisions. And I know it's not easy, but if your teen comes to you, hey, mom, I like someone. Okay, who do you like? Okay, well, what do you like about that young lady? Or what do you like about that young fella? And then you'll learn your kid. You'll learn what they've seen and why they like these type of people and why they're making these decisions. And then you can form a relationship. You can be a friend as well as a parent. Now, of course, those lines can't cross, but at least you'll have a balance instead of your kid going to the streets or going to the TV or YouTube or to their friends for answers about things that you're way more experienced in.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And I know you had mentioned something also about the pornography. I remember back in the day you had HBO, you had Cinemax. We was always peculiar about these particular things when it came to sex. And we hit the mute button. Used to, when you heard the parents, you quit changing quick. That's something we all done because we was always, I guess, want to know how it would feel, what was all about. That's things of that nature. So you think now in this generation, it's more open now compared back then where parents are kind of like dropping it, explaining to them, and basically.
I hope so. I would hope so. Because like I said, these days, kids have cell phones. It's no more flipping the channel or putting the TV on mute. It's simply pushing the off button on your phone real quick. It's like, and even if you take their phone, they can go to school and their friends can show them on their phone. It's like, you can't hide what's going on in the world from your kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just for an example, I have a friend of mine and he was telling me that he caught his daughter watching some stuff on her phone. And he said that at first he was extremely upset. He wanted to just be really mean to her about it. But he told me about it before he talked to her. And I was like, hey, when we was 11, 12, 13, what were we doing late at night? And he was like, you know what, you're right. We was watching CMX and HBO, flipping the channel. I was like, yes. I said, so before you go in there and reprimand her, not saying that you shouldn't have rules, because you do have to have rules, you do have to set boundaries. But before you just jump on those kids and want to reprimand them for things, remember what you did and ask them why are they doing this stuff.
Exactly. And also, sneaking out to the porn stores and all the other stuff. I know everybody did that.
Yes,
we didn't want to get caught and stuff like that, because having that peculiar mindset of, okay, at the time you get your sexual peak anyway. And I'm glad you had brought that up. Another thing I want to get into relationships, that we have this baggage when it comes to being with a mate, being with a partner in life. And we have these issues, we have these struggles, we have these secrets that we deal with on a regular basis. I know us, from a man perspective, we were not big communicators. A lot of things we experienced in our childhood, we felt the same way, but we was never taught to express ourselves. Or you're a man, you're not supposed to cry, but have all these built up frustrations. So now men carry this baggage, and they carry these feelings, they carry all these issues until a relationship with a woman, and now she has to receive all this backlash from all the stuff that he dealt with and start not getting the proper help. So what would you say about that as well when it comes to the relationship, when it comes to the baggage, when it comes to the skeletons in our closet?
In a perfect world, people would heal themselves and get to know themselves before they even jump into a relationship. Like in the perfect world, and it took me going through a very tough breakup for me to actually sit down and say, because a lot of people, what happens is they get heartbroken and then they say, you know what, I'm not going to sit here and pun over this person. I'm going to meet someone else to take my mind off of this person. And then they meet someone else, they take their mind off of them, but then they end up getting heartbroken from them too. And then they say, okay, next. And then it's just an ongoing cycle. It's an ongoing cycle. Instead of sitting there wallowing. Like sometimes you have to sit there and wallow in the pain. Sometimes you got to cry it out. If it takes a year, you got to just sit there and say, you know what, I'm not getting in another relationship until I am completely healed and until I can really love someone properly. Because I look at, on TikTok, on social media all the time, you see these people have these, posts where they'll say, there's that one person that if they ever came back, I'll leave whoever I'm with. Like, if that's the mindset you have, then that's who you need to be with, or you need to be by yourself. Because it's not fair to get someone else as a space holder until you can be with the person that you want. Or it's not fair to jump into another relationship wondering what if it would have worked out with someone else. So I'll say, if people would just sit back and get to know themselves, learn how to really love yourself. Like, it seems cliche because everyone is like, hey, self-love is the best love. But really sit back and learn what it is to love yourself, what it is that you really like, what it is about you, about yourself that's lovable. What can you offer, beyond the physical, beyond assets? What else can you offer to a person when it comes to healing, loving, being a friend, being honest and loyal, So I would just say, like I said, in a perfect world, people would do that. But since we're not in a perfect world, if you're listening to this podcast and you're single and you're hurting over someone, don't jump into something else so that somebody else can possibly heal you. You got to heal yourself. So that's my answer.
Oh, and I totally agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Because we had a conversation at work a while back when I was at work, and for the fellas who maybe have that question your manhood type stuff, what I was saying that is, if you into the same sex, don't bring the other woman into it. When I say that is because you attracting all these type of diseases and you're bringing it to her where you trying to put this mask on like, oh, I'm straight, but you're attracted to the same sex. What would you say about that also? Because I know a lot of this stuff it's in our world, and this stuff takes place every single day.
You are correct.
And that's something we don't, and that's something that we never really talk about, because I believe because I see women get affected by AIDS, HIV, all this stuff because of the male. He like other men, but he'll give it a woman, try to cover it up, knowing deep down inside he likes other guys, but never, instead of getting himself together or whatever the case may be. What would you say about that also?
I feel like that goes back to taking the time to get to love yourself, because once you take the time to get to love yourself, you become confident in who you are. And then you develop the attitude of, you know what, this is who I am, take it or leave it. I'm not wearing a mask for you. I'm not turning down my light. I'm not turning down who I am so that you won't be offended. This is me. I've studied myself enough to know that this is what I am. This is who I like. This is what I like. These are my boundaries. This is what I'll take. This is what I won't take. This is me. This is me. Open book on the table. Do you want me or do you not? So if you actually take the time to get to know yourself, then you won't feel the need to have trickery, because you won't feel like, oh my God, I need to protect my manhood. Like, you'll become comfortable in your masculinity or your femininity or whatever side you decide to be on. You'll be comfortable in that. So you won't feel like you have to fake. You'll walk in who you are and you'll be confident in it. So it all comes back to just taking that time to search yourself. And sometimes that means, if you're a Christian, going to church, getting a higher relationship with God. Or if you don't want to do the Christian thing, then just get a higher relationship with your higher self, Buddha, or whoever it is that you want to worship, And
most definitely. And also, what are you thinking about therapy? I know a lot of people, especially in the Black community, they start to take hold of therapy now, getting the help they need. Even a lot of celebs are getting help now, because we have not, especially when it comes to our community, we was never taught certain things. We were never taught to get challenged on certain things to bring forth the healing that we need in our lives. Like I said, we carry this baggage, we carry this pain, we carry this hurt, and then before we know it, we're lashing out at everybody because we never got the proper help that we need, mentally and emotionally and stuff like that. So when it comes to relationships, when it comes to meeting that person you want to be with, is it important to be open with each other when you first meet each other? I hear people say, well, you don't want to expose everything, but you don't want to waste nobody's time either.
Man, let me tell you, when I get into a relationship, when I start dating someone, I may scare them off because of how honest I am. And that's because I've taken the time to get to know myself. So when I meet a person, I tell the person, look, these are the things that I like. Okay. And then it doesn't take a long time to realize that someone is what you want. Like if you get that feeling, if you get that inkling in your gut, because everybody has intuition. If you get that gut, like, okay, this person ain't gonna work, just go ahead and walk off. Don't say, well, maybe no, you're not wrong. If you feel like they're not gonna work, they're not gonna work. But yes, when you meet a person, go ahead and tell them what you want. Like, why wait? Why wait? 30 minutes in, I'm telling you off the rip, okay? I have this going on. I have this going on. What do you have going on? This is what I'm looking for. Do you think that you can give this to me? You know, I'm talking to you and having a conversation with you based off of how much you're able to keep me intrigued. That's going to tell me a lot right there, because these guys these days they got a lot of money, and so they're high value. That's bullcrap to me. These guys who feel like they're attractive, so they're high value, that's bullcrap to me. I'm going to need you to be able to keep my attention, and I'm going to need you to be able to provide me with something that any other guy can't. So you're going to have to give me something. So I feel like it's very important for you to just put who you are on the table the first couple of minutes. Like if you feel like you like that person, if you're attracted to that person, you think you can have something with them, go ahead and tell them what it is that you want, what you see for your future. Just go for it. You have nothing to lose.
So in other words, don't waste nobody's time when it comes to that department. And I know guys think it's all about sex. They think it was between their legs. Women look past all that. Like you said, it's all about keeping you intrigued, keeping you interested, instead of saying it's all about money and sex. Because that's what some guys think. They think, well, I got money, I got sex, that's going to keep her attention. But like you say, it's more to that than just those little nuggets that some guys just focus on. But hey, men just got to get better. I also want to talk about crypto. I know that you are into cryptocurrency. I know you're an advocate for cryptocurrency. You bring awareness to it as well. How did you get started in there, and how did all that trigger down to you? You're very passionate about it.
I'm extremely passionate about crypto, and everybody should be passionate about crypto. How I got into it, there was this guy. I was friends with this guy, and we just always basically bounced information off of each other, and we became kind of like business partners. And he learned about crypto through this other guy. I think there was this guy that basically became like a millionaire because he was investing in cryptocurrency like in 2013. His name is Tinashe. He's on Facebook. There's a big group on Facebook. This guy's name is Tinashe, and the name of the group is blockchain something. I'll find it and I'll put it in the link. But anyway, so the guy that I was friends with, he knew that I was a go-getter, and he knew that if he gave me any type of outlet to get money, that I was going to jump on it. So we were hanging out one day, and he just took my phone and he was like, hey, download these apps. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to put you onto cryptocurrency. And I was like, okay, cool. So I downloaded the apps. And then I started following the group. And every time there was a new cryptocurrency that came out, he'll hit me up like, hey, download this coin, get this coin. So I just started building up my portfolio, and I started reading about it, and I started making buku cash. I literally made like 34K in 1 month off of investing in cryptocurrency. That was from like a $3,000 investment. Okay. So we can get more into it on my YouTube channel if you guys follow it. But that's how I got into it. And a short answer would be networking.
Awesome stuff right there. And like I said, I know before you were teaching a class on that, and that's another thing I want to talk about too, investing in yourself. I know a lot of people, when it comes to investing, look for freebies. But I believe you should pay for your services. I believe if you're serious about investing in yourself and being a better version of yourself, I believe you should put the money up for it. So I would tell people, and I listed this before, work some overtime, put extra hours in, take that little extra overtime money, invest into what you want to do. I know you was teaching the class. So are you currently teaching classes now, or how that's going on right now?
Yes, I actually do still teach crypto classes. What I do is it's like one-on-one. So if someone inboxes me and say, hey, I would like for you to teach me crypto, then I'll just take their $50 deposit, and then I'll choose the place that they would like to meet at. And what I do is I set up a 1-hour session. If people take notes, 1 hour is all you need, along with my YouTube tutorials. If you don't take notes, you're going to need an additional class, and it's going to be an additional $50. But the reason I charge $50 is because it's a very tedious process, and it takes a lot of energy and a lot of time. So $50 is actually a steal. But to answer your question, yes, I do teach the classes. I'm actually working on a master class that's going to be downloadable so that I won't have to meet people one-on-one. They can basically just click my class and just learn everything that way. So hopefully that'll be done in a couple of months, but we'll talk about that later. I don't want to take up all the time.
I know like $50 is real reasonable. It's real reasonable. You can't beat that with a stick. But also, does that $50 also tests them to see where they at, because I know if you say I teach you for free, there's like be in not really into be sometime with it. But when they do pay the $50, that shows how serious they are when they do it, because you don't want I know you're a woman of value, and I call you half woman, half amazing all the time. And so that shows them how serious they are. I know you don't like your time to be wasted.
It definitely shows that they're serious because, of course, with me being a woman, whether I was attractive or not, guys are they just try you, you know? So when I post my crypto classes or if I post my daily free knowledge, guys will inbox me like, hey, can you teach me crypto? And I'm like, yes, cash out $50 to here. And then once you download these 2 apps, let me know that you downloaded them, and then we can move forward. And I have guys that never cash out the money, but then every morning they're like, hey, good morning. Hey, I'm ready. I'm like, have you downloaded the app yet? You haven't sent me the cash app. Oh, I'm going to do it. Okay, well, when you do it, let me know. And they'll just keep wasting my time. So yes, the $50 is for me to know that you're serious. And it's also for my time, because I have a million projects going on. I don't have free time to just dedicate to people that it takes a lot of energy. So I don't have time to just give to someone free knowledge, because free knowledge is Google and YouTube. So anything you want to know, you can Google it or YouTube. So if you choose to come to me, then that means I'm sorry, but you were kind of lazy. You know, so you're going to pay me for you being lazy, and you're going to pay me for my time, because I'm teaching you what I took the time to research, you know?
Right. I mean, a hire is worried about all their wages. So I agree with that 100%. That's why people are serious about bettering themselves and investing in themselves, take the money to do it, because we take the money to invest in Jordans.
Exactly.
We take the money to buy hair, car, all that stuff. All that stuff that's not... Yeah, all that stuff that's not going to gain us no access to anything. Instead of taking that $50 could turn into $1 million. You just never know how you work it. So I respect you on that, because so if you're interested in taking those classes, $50 ain't nothing. Come on, man. Y'all can't spend $50. Come on. Y'all spend $50 on food. And that's
exactly. And that's how I started investing, actually, because okay. I looked at myself and I said, you know what? I looked at myself, I said, how much money do I spend a week eating meals out? And I said, roughly, I'll give myself, if I was to eat out every day, I'll give myself $20 a day. So $20 times 5, that's $100. I'm like, okay, if I just cooked, I can eat off the same meal. If I make 2 meals in a week, I can eat those 2 meals for 5 days. So if I can just cook some food, I can take that same $100 and invest it, and I will not miss it. So if you invest the money that you're not missing, you'll see your bank account or your investment accounts grow extremely fast.
And most definitely, I'm glad you brought that up. We'll just talk about budgeting. We know that budgeting is very important, whether it's in your business or your personal life. So how do you go about doing the budgeting thing? Because budget is very important. I live on a budget. When people hear budget, they think that's a negative thing, but actually it's a good thing, because that's why I also want to talk about too. Does budgeting play a role in relationships when it comes to the male and female? Because we know finances do play a part when it comes to relationships.
Budgeting plays a major part in a relationship. For me, I'm going to tell you. So I met 2 guys, okay? One guy, extremely successful. I'm talking about a leader, driven, checks off all the boxes, but he would rather buy things to make him look successful and look like he has money, instead of taking the money to fix his credit. So it's like you have all of these materialistic things that to the naked eye, it looks like, oh, he's popping. But when you look at your credit score, you're struggling. And then I had this other guy that was not driven, that treated me amazing, but he did not budget his money, and he didn't make much money, but he was willing to learn. But both of those guys had problems with budgets, and both of those things was a turnoff to me. So it kind of took off a lot of points. If they started out as a strong 10, when I saw that they was being real, like, irresponsible with their money, it knocked them down to a 5 in my book. Because I'm like, at this age, you know, for those of you who don't know, I'm 33. At this age, you should not try to look successful. You should be successful. It's like, don't go out here purchasing a BMW and your credit score is like a 420. You better fix your credit first. So when it comes to budgeting, the easiest way to budget, and like you said, people don't want to do this, but it's a struggle in the beginning, but once you start seeing the light, it's worth it. If you would just say, okay, how much money do I bring in a month after taxes? Okay, how much are my bills a month? Okay, I bring in this is how much my bills is. I have this much money left to play with. Now, this is going to be subtracting gas. This is going to be subtracting your meals out, all of that from the money that you're bringing in a month. Whatever you have left to play with, take a portion of that and put it in your savings account. If you only have $20 left, put $1 in your savings account. If you have $100 left, put $10 in your savings account. And if you do this every single week, you're going to notice I now have a savings account when you didn't have a savings account before. And once you see that savings account start growing, you're going to become addicted to it. But budgeting is extremely easy if you just write down how many bills you have and what you're bringing home a month.
And that plays a role, and that's very important. It's very show the mature side of everything. But like I said, I'll be 40 in April and next year. And that plays a huge role on how we handle our finances. Another thing, our health. That's another thing I'm big on too. Taking care of our bodies, taking care of our temples. You know, I recently got me a personal trainer now working on boxing, which is great exercise. And I'm enjoying that. So I know that plays a role because I'm with somebody. Let's say we was together. I want to be in the best shape possible because I'm thinking long term instead of being on all this type of medication, all this stuff that we don't need in our bodies. So that plays a role too. So when you talk about on Rebel Talk, you don't talk about this stuff in relationship deals. You talk about health as well, also, because we never talk about taking care of our bodies.
Now, that's something that I do need to address, which I have not addressed yet, but it's very important to take care of your body. You know, it's actually to the point to where if I see a guy, if I'm on the phone with a guy every day, and every time I talk to him, he's talking about, oh, I'm about to go grab me a burger. And then the next day, oh, I'm about to go get me some fried chicken. Then the next day, I'm about to get some fried pork chops smothered in gravy. And I never hear him mention fruits or vegetables. I'm going to feel some type of way. Like, excuse my language.
You good.
Excuse my language, but your liquids taste like what you put inside of your body. So if all I see you eating is a whole lot of trash, not to mention if you're smoking cigarettes or you're drinking a lot of alcohol, then I'm going to feel kind of iffy about, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to feel kind of iffy. I'm like, okay, what do you have going on? Like, do you ever eat fruit? Do you eat vegetables? Do you drink water? Some people don't even like water. So it's like, that stuff is a turn off to me too. It's like, now I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a health freak, like I'm a health maniac. I like my burgers sometimes too, but I'm telling you, it's getting to the point to where when I see certain foods, it kind of makes me cringe. It's like, a big, huge slice of cake. Like, ew. Like if I drink a soda 2 days out of the week, after that, I'm like, okay, you know what? For starters, I'm going to drink water every day. Like, that's just honest. But if I was to drink a soda 2 days out of the week, that third day, I'm going to say, you know what? It's time to kind of detox, get that soda up out of me, because everything is different now. Like, even organic food is not really organic because you have pesticides and chemicals that they're spraying on it. You got pollution in the air. So everything is mostly contaminated. Even if you grow it inside of your house, you still have chemicals in the air from when you brush your teeth, the fluoride in the toothpaste, the airborne chemicals is going out. You have fluoride in the water when you spray stuff to clean your tub. That stuff actually, it lingers around in your air. So even if you're growing your plants inside of your house, it's still pesticides and chemicals and things. So you should try to eat as healthy as possible, as often as possible. And it's a journey, but it's easy to do once you have to just slowly build yourself up. Like, I'm not saying be vegan or be vegetarian, but just slowly start adding healthy things into your diet. And you will see a change in the way that your skin looks. I get a lot of compliments on my skin. I don't wear makeup. The most I'm going to wear, my lipstick here. I got my lipstick on. I got on my mascara, but foundation, I don't wear it.
Okay,
you
cool.
know,
Natural beauty.
It's no shade. You know, you have to do whatever it takes to make you look good and feel good. But the healthier you are and the less stressed you are, the better you'll feel, the better your skin will glow. You know, your brain will even be more freed up. It won't feel so fuzzy all the time. You know,
most definitely. And I agree with that because I stay going to the vitamin shop. I spend like $66 worth of vitamins, take care of my body. Also, I'm big into the brain as well. I take vitamins for that. I think that's the alpha brain, I tell you. Help with memory and focus and stuff like that. So that plays a role. Another thing I want to talk about too, I want to talk about chemistry when it comes to the male and female. That chemistry where everything just flows together. Would you know where you and that person had that type of chemistry that you can't get with nobody else?
Oh yeah, you definitely know. You definitely know. You know, sometimes, and I've been a victim of trying to force something that I knew was not going to work because the person checked off all of my boxes. It's like, you check off all my boxes, but there's no chemistry. But I don't want to say no because everything else is checked off. Maybe the chemistry will come. It don't take that long. It's like sometimes chemistry is just magnetic. And then sometimes you're around someone and it feels awkward. And you got to try to force yourself to feel like it's not awkward. But like this podcast that you and I are having right now, it's flowing. It's not awkward. There's not any awkward pauses. It's like sometimes your personality just clicks with someone. And then sometimes a certain person that you meet is just for, they may just be in your life for business purposes. They may just be in your life to teach you a lesson really quick. Everyone that comes in your life is not meant to stay. And sometimes as women, or if you're a male and you're lonely and you're looking to settle down, sometimes you'll just be so ready to meet that person that you'll try to make it fit. But no, if it's not there, it's not there. But when you feel it, you'll feel it because that's how we were designed. We're chemical individuals, like, you know?
Yeah, and I agree with that because it plays a role in everything that you do. Like I said, we talking about health, we talking about finance, we talking about bettering ourselves here this morning on the podcast because I got work to do. Like for the fella, you know, when it comes to in the bedroom, you know what I'm saying? Men being more healthy when it comes to that because men do suffer from ED. And that does kill a man's ego and does kill a man's pride. And all that women feel some type of way, like you must not be attracted to me or you've been with somebody else. No, it comes for us not taking care of ourselves properly. Because I ain't gonna lie, when you with that person, that woman you love, you want to make the best love to them that you both want to come together as one. So I agree with being more healthy when it comes to that. So having that chemistry love plays a huge role in everything that we should do, I believe.
It does. It does. You have to be healthy, like you said. And, you know, even if you're not in the best shape and you don't eat the healthiest, chemistry will fix a lot of things. Like, you know, you can have a 45-minute long sexual encounter with someone with no chemistry and they can pump their brains out and they could, you know, sex the heck out of you or whatever the case. And it feels good physically, but spiritually and emotionally, it still feels empty. So you get there, but you don't really get there. Versus having chemistry with someone and having a 10-minute experience that feels like, wow, I can go another month without any because the chemistry was so magical. Like the kiss gave me fireworks, like the hug made my heart race. So even though you weren't able to provide so much stamina, the connection that we have, it makes up for it. Baby, we can work on it type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So chemistry outweighs a lot.
So that stuff plays a role. Another thing I want to ask you too about books. Do you read books? And when you do read books, what kind of books are you reading right now?
I have books that I pick up on occasion depending on how my mood goes. But I must admit, I spend a large amount of my time on YouTube and just reading blogs, researching. Random thoughts will come to my head. I'll just be sitting here and be like, I wonder how the moon got holes on it. And then I'll just go to YouTube and Google like how did the moon get holes on it, and then I end up going down what's called the rabbit hole and learning all different types of stuff. But actually, I'm looking at my bookshelf now. The books that I have are quite weird and scary to some people because I'm very inquisitive. I'm very inquisitive, and I'm a very spiritual being. Like I'm not a one-dimensional person. I'm not a one religion type of person. I'm not religion at all. So I believe that all religions are true. Good or evil, I believe all religions have truth to it. It all comes from our history in some form. So I'm looking at my bookshelf. I have a book called Unbound. I'm not even going to share the books that I have. But I do have an atlas of the Bible I like to look at. Okay. And I have a lot of self-help books on how to train your mind. I have a lot of psychology books that shows you how the human mind works. And cool. I hate to say this, but it'll kind of show you how to manipulate the mind to get people to react a certain way that you want them to react. So I read things like that as well.
Oh, it's something like the 48 Laws of Power, and it's something similar to that.
I have read that.
Okay, I mean, because the mind is the point of the book that I'm reading right now is called Discipline Equals Freedom. That's something I always wanted to do. That's one of my previous prayers, have a disciplined lifestyle. And you'll get the answer will come to you in a form of book or form of a person, but that's something I always want to implement and apply in my own life, having a disciplined lifestyle. And that's the only thing I want to ask you about that too. The start of your day. I know if you listen to a lot of great people, great men and women, they start their time early in the day. They don't believe in wasting time. A woman of your stature, how do you start your particular day? What time do you start your day? And how do you go about your day?
Well, I would like to say, I wish I could say that I wake up at 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. I actually do I wake up at 6 a.m. now because I just went back to work recently. I had been off for a while. I went back to work recently. So now I actually wake up at 5:45 to 6 because I have to be to work at 7. Now, when I was just not working, when I was just working on my own projects, working for myself, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was probably waking up at like 9 or 10. But when I hit the floor, the first thing I say every single morning, thank you, God, thank you, universe, for giving me another chance. And when I say that, it's not just me saying it, it's me truly exuding thanks for the things that I have. Like, and I randomly thank God, the universe, for the things that I have because I have to think about a year ago, I was living a great life, but I didn't have the things that I have now. I was wishing for the life that I have now then. And now it's like I have everything that I want. I can only go up from here. Like I have tasted success at this point. I've always considered success as being able to go where you want, spend what you want, and not worry about how you're going to put the money back. I am there. So now I just spend a lot of my time giving gratitude and giving thanks. Like I said, I'm a very spiritual person. I like to light candles for my thanks. Candles to me symbolizes certain things, like different colors of different candles mean things for me. So white symbolizes peace. So when I'm giving thanks to the universe, to God, I like to light a white candle and I like to set an intention on giving thanks. And then I meditate on the thanks that I'm giving. I just sit there and I inhale all the greatness and I exhale all the thanks. So I do that frequently. I have a closet that I go in that I have all of my giving thanks props, if you will. But I have my closet that I go in and I like to listen to frequencies. I like to play certain vibrational frequencies to keep myself balanced while I'm giving my thanks and meditating.
Awesome stuff. And my next question is, I know you are a woman of stature. I know you have gained all this knowledge and wisdom through the years. But what advice would you have gave your younger self?
I would not change a thing, honestly. Okay. Like I wouldn't go back and tell my younger self anything because I like the journey that I had. I like coming from being insecure to being extremely secure. I like coming from not knowing my worth to knowing my worth. I like coming from being a follower to being a leader. I like coming from not feeling like I was attractive to knowing that regardless of what anybody say, I'm the shit. So it's like I like the journey because if I told my younger self the things that I know now, I probably would be way farther ahead, but maybe not because there's some people who are twice my age that don't know the things that I know. So I feel like the journey is very necessary. I wouldn't change anything.
Awesome stuff. Cause I know I have asked that question before, and I know people said they would do this and do that. But then also I know it's that learning experience. Okay, I learned from the stuff I went through that I won't make the same mistake twice. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Oh, yes, it definitely does.
Because I know, okay, I was married before. I went through the divorce. If I knew what I knew now, I probably never got married the first time. Really, I say that for because of my thought pattern, my mindset, not knowing who I am, being unstable. Because a woman deserves a man who's a leader, who takes the initiative, that know how to love, that know how to communicate. And that's what I would do if I would do it all over again. But I thank God for the experience to learn better. So when I enter a new thing, I know exactly what to do. That's why I encourage anybody who's single, don't rush into anything. Like you said earlier, take time to know yourself, invest in you, love you. And then I just believe, Jay, that natural love is the best love. When I said the natural love, because you're going to walk right into it. You're not seeking it. You're not basing your whole life, I got to have somebody. But when you're on your purpose in life and purpose in there, I believe you're just gonna walk right into it.
That's it.
And you'll know. And you'll know. And you will know. And I'm gonna ask you this too. Discipline. What keeps you disciplined when it comes to the road to success? Because when people get successful, you gotta stay at that high level. You gotta keep playing at a high level. You can't take for light and you can't take for granted. So what keeps you disciplined on the road that you're on now?
What keeps me disciplined is my passion to see people experience what I'm experiencing. A lot of people do not know. I stayed in public housing before. I had a very low credit score before. I was having to borrow $20 and $10 for gas. I was having to get food from friends because I was low on food until payday. Like, I have experienced that, and I know how it feels to not have and ask someone and someone says no. So I am self-made, so it's like I know the struggle. So I want people to realize that you can make money without even having any money, but it's all about how bad do you want it. It's all about, are you going to sit here and say, I need to be fixing my credit. That's what I need to be doing. Oh, I need to be investing in crypto. Oh, I need to be investing in stocks. Oh, somebody told me about NFTs. I need to be, okay, are you going to be needing to do it, or are you going to get up and do it? It's like, how bad do you not want to keep having to be in the same situation? How bad do you not want to work check to check? What is your exit strategy? Like, one of my episodes is called No Matrix Allowed. If you haven't listened to it, when you get a chance, listen to it. But No Matrix Allowed, I open up asking, what is your exit strategy? And I use the example of my dad. My dad is 54 years old. And I was on the phone with my dad one day recently. And I was like, Dad, what you doing? And he was like, oh, I'm at work, And I was like, Daddy, when can you stop working? Like, when are you going to stop? And he was like, well, I don't know, baby. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, wow, you're 53 and you don't know when you can stop working. Like, I love you, Dad, but that's pretty pathetic. Like, you need an exit strategy. You need to say, okay, if I make $70,000 in a year, how much money do I need to put back in a year along with my retirement for me to retire comfortably? When am I going to be out of this matrix? Like, am I trying to work for somebody for the rest of my life and retire from them? Or am I trying to create a life for myself to where I can actually enjoy the life? Like, do I want to go to work every single day? Do I want someone telling me when to clock out, when to go to lunch, if I can use my phone or not? Can I stay outside on break for 15 minutes? Like, I'm grown. I moved out of the house with my mom because I want to do what I want to do. I'd be doggone if I'm going to work somewhere and you're going to tell me when to clock in, when to go to lunch, I don't want that. So it's like, what is your exit strategy? And if you figure out what your exit strategy is, then you can formulate a plan. Once you formulate a plan, then you can see your vision. And once you see your vision, you can execute. So I have a passion to show people how to execute. And that's what keeps me driven. It's like, until I see the people that I'm specifically focused on get out of the rut and change their mindset, I'm going to keep going,
You got to. And you got to keep going. You got to keep pressing on. And I know we pressing for time. I know you're a woman of busy schedule, of course. So plug in. How can people get in contact with you concerning cryptocurrency, the Rebel Talk podcast? I know you have a YouTube channel you have as well. So plug all that in so people, because this is on my YouTube channel as well, so people can go back, listen to it. Also get in contact with you, whether it's coming to crypto, the podcast. I know you're a woman of all trades, so go right ahead.
I am. Okay, so guys, I'm going to just say this really quick. I have a YouTube, I have a podcast, I have an Instagram that's extremely, extremely full of packed information. I have a clothing line as well that was featured in New York Fashion Week. Everything is going to be on my Linktree profile. If you click my Linktree profile, it's going to list every single link that I am affiliated with. I also have an NFT, guys. And I also have 2 apps. One app is going to be actually releasing in about 2 weeks. This app is actually, I don't want to give too much information, but it's going to be a game changer. I am actually known as what's called a fintech entrepreneur. That means an entrepreneur that has created a new technology that is not a largely used or a broad, a niche. It's not a broad niche. So this niche has not been touched. So this is going to be a major breakthrough, especially for Christmas time. So I have 2 apps that I'm going to be releasing. One is a game and one is the app that I'm telling you guys about. It's already live on the App Store in Apple Play and Google Play. I'll be giving you guys the name of it very soon once I'm done with all of the technical work of it. But I'm going to have that one link inside of the bottom of this video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for having me, Furman. This has been amazing. It's been very fun. Hopefully I can get you on my podcast soon as well.
Almost there, I'm looking forward to it. One more time, I ask you too, and I know you mentioned something about getting your credit cleaned up. I know people have the credit repair business and stuff like that, but you brought up something, I guess you want to say the old-fashioned way. You said get in touch with creditors. That was some great information, of course. And I know nowadays the creditors, they will sit with you. So how do they go about that as well for those who want to do it? That's what when I say they want to do it. Because when people say I got to pay credit, oh, well, what about Christmas and all this other stuff? Something you have to cut off for a little while until you get yourself established. Does that play a role in a relationship? They say we're together and we say, hey, firm, we got to go. We're going to match up. Is that important too?
One thing that aggravates me the most with our culture, and I love our culture, don't get me, I love the Black woman is the creator of all things. Let's not forget that. But when it comes to our culture, it makes me angry because you will go and spend bill money on Christmas gifts and you are in debt. That's the most ridiculous. And then you're saying that you're buying Christmas gifts because you're celebrating the birth of Christ. How is me buying you a Christmas present beneficial to the birth of Christ? If that's the excuse you want to use, how is me giving Sally, John, or Joe a gift beneficial to the birth of Christ? And then you're still in debt. And then when the light bill is due in January, you're gonna be looking crazy, like, dang, I should have spent all that money on Christmas presents. You're damn right you shouldn't have. But if you're gonna talk about how to fix your credit the easiest way, because I know we're wrapping up, go to freecreditreport.com. Print out your credit report. They're going to mail you a copy of your credit report. It's going to be about 20 pages, depending on how long it is. Look at that credit report. Everything on there that you owe a balance on, highlight it. Call each, because it's going to list the name, the number, and the address of the creditor that's charging you. Call them. We are in a pandemic. These people are going to take what they can get. Everybody is struggling for money. If you drive down your main street in your city right now, you're going to see now hiring signs at every single company, everywhere. Fast food restaurants, the mall, it doesn't matter. People are struggling. Call these creditors. Say, hey, man, I'm trying to fix my credit. I see that I owe you $700 on this old repossession. How much money can I pay you? I need this off my credit. And then they're probably going to say, okay, I can offer you a 40% discount. Don't take that. Say, okay, can we do 30? I got 30 right now. If you got some money right now that you can pay them, say, look, I got $250 right now cash. If we can settle this thing, let's do it. They'll probably say, well, we can do it for $300. Okay, I'm gonna give you this $250. Can I set up a payment arrangement for this next $50? And then we exchange it for a paid in full on my credit report. They're probably gonna say, yes, we can put paid in full, or we can put paid by settlement. Yes, we can do that. Do that. Take that one. Okay, cross it off. That's paid. Go to the next one. And you're going to just do this for all your credit. And every 30 days, your credit is going to update. And you're going to see that score rise. And you're going to be addicted. You're going to be like, oh my God, that's all I had to do? Versus finding someone paying somebody $1,600 to do the same thing that you can do yourself. Because that's all they're going to do. They're not doing nothing magic. All they're doing is the same thing that you can do that you're too lazy to do. Every single business in the world, anybody can do it. Anybody can do every single thing that you see. It's just a matter of doing the research to do it. If you want to be a car salesman, if you want to create a car, if you want to build houses, if you want to sell houses, if you want to create a cryptocurrency, if you want to invest in cryptocurrency, if you want to create anything that exists, you can do it. But you'd rather pay somebody else to do it. So you got to realize that I'm paying someone for what I can do myself. And once you realize that, you'll save a whole lot of money.
Hey, it makes sense. This all sums it up right there in a nutshell. So, Lady J, I appreciate you once again. Take your time to be this kid. I really enjoy hanging out with you on the podcast. And of course, the replay will be up to date. And also, I will send you this episode as well. I know you want to do some things also with the tags and stuff like that. So, I appreciate you once again. Of course, love you and keep doing what you're doing, of course.
Thank you so much. Take care.
All right. Peace out, everybody.